Alright, we're back, and we're playing some Wraith on RPD. I don't really play too much Wraith, and this is a little bit of an older video. We're using Sloppy Butcher, Deadlock, Jolt, and Eruption. And we're using this add-on for uncloak speed and the other thing, the bone clapper thing. Immediately we're going after Yui here, who's wanted to really stay on that generator. We're going to try to see if they try to drop the pallet for me, which they do. Go ahead and break it, and then we're just gonna go and cloak again. They're most likely gonna give me another pallet. I was trying to go around and just go check on the gens before we go and do that. I had a challenge here to use Wraith here, so I was like, I decided to use Wraith. We do get the hit there because Wraith doesn't have that extended lunge. Add to that cloak, and then we go back to go and kick the gen. And apply some eruption, and then we're back to Yui again. Or no, this is I don't know who that was. We're applying some more eruption real fast while we have the time. They just want to camp the pallet. Complete waste, honestly, but hey, I'm getting rid of about 2 pallets at 5 gens. We're doing really well. We have 2 gens with eruption, and then we can just go ahead and follow them. They are injured and they do have sloppy butchers, so they will be able to bleed a lot. We're going to go check on this other generator as well. They're injured. We're going to apply some eruption there so that once we get this knockdown, we get about 3 hits on the generator at the same time. They decided to give up the pallet, so I might be able to get the hit here. They make it, but I did make a mistake there. That's fine. They literally are stuck there. She goes for the vault. I don't know why I swung there. We're just going to break it on that side and force them to go back toward the generator. Deadlock did activate, so they most likely finish the gen in the middle of the map. We are dealing with a very garbage survivor. We do get the hit there. We get about 3 hits on 3 generators at the same time, and Jolt also should go off as well. So that offers about 18% regression if you're able to actually get the kick and the knockdown around the same time. Give or take. So Yui's healed up, but we're gonna get the we're gonna try to get the spin there. We go after Yui, get our free hit. That gets us our challenge. They think they're spinning somebody, but they're just pre-dropping. Very idiotic. We're just gonna break it on that side to keep them over there. There really isn't anywhere to go from there. If she drops down, she only has 1 pallet, so there isn't really much to work with. There is the pallet from earlier, let's say just pre-drop, so they're just wasting every single pallet, so that's a lot of pallets out the way. We got our 2 pallets that we wanted. We go and switch targets and apply eruption once more, and because we are playing Wraith, we could just zoom on over to the top here and apply some more eruption there. Now personally, I don't really run this build anymore with eruption and all that nonsense, because I just don't think it's that effective. Like 10% is really not that strong. But I did try it out at the time. I did get like 4 hits on generators, and then we're able to just put them into the basement, considering they're right there next to us. We're gonna put them on the back hook, or I guess that's the side hook. It doesn't really matter. So we're gonna go ahead and cloak up and fly up the stairs again and go check on the gens. They're right back on the middle gens, but like I said, 10% really is not a lot of regression. Especially because you have to kick it and then also have to get the down around the same time so that you actually get some value. But we're going to kick it anyway, and then try to go back down because they might go for the save, which they are not really doing that just yet. We're going to go and check down there because they're really trying to greed the gens now. That one's most likely running sprint burst. We're just going to apply more eruption, go back up there to defend our generators. We want to maintain control of the middle of the map. That gen at the top is still regressing. They just unhooked. So we're going to fly down here. They might be healing under hook, which they are. We get the knockdown on there, and we get a couple of hits on the gens. And then we could just leave them slugged and go after Yui, who's going to pre-drop everything they see, and then they get instantly knocked down, and that's another hit for Jolt. So then we can bring him back to the basement, and then we can actually hook Vittorio and the Yui at the same time, and we just get a lot of pressure here. So we hook them quickly. They're on second state, and then we get another free hook off of them, and Deadlock also blocks the gen for us, so we do have time. Gonna put them right on the back hook here. Makes it a little bit easier for us. We pretty much don't really have to go anywhere because we have 2 people on the hook. So we can just pretty much patrol a little bit and see where they're gonna go. We're gonna apply some eruption back on that generator, and then we're gonna go right back down the stairs to go and defend our hooks, which of course are flying to go get the save. They do unfortunately get the save. I was a little bit slow on that, but we just want to go after Yui regardless because we need her out of the game as soon as possible. And she's also like a very weak survivor, so this is an ideal situation for us. The other gen at the bottom here has no progress. She's gonna most likely pre-drop again, which is what they do. We just kick it anyway because the area they're going is a dead zone, so all we have to do is just follow them. They're most likely going to heal under hook anyway, but that's fine. We want to get Yui out the way. They want to think they're mending or something and then still waste a pallet. I could have sworn you're able to hit over the tile there. I could have sworn I've seen it happen, but it just wasn't working for me. So unfortunately, the chase goes a little bit longer than I would have hoped, but it's fine. They do make the window. Unfortunately, we just run right around it. Which, I mean, they're just holding W. They're not really looping or doing anything actually, like, smart. So it is what it is. Of course, they're going to greet the generator if we can get the hit on them. But it is sprint burst we're talking about. So we do want to at least try to apply some more sloppy butcher. So we just hit them. And then we're going to try to fly back up to the top here. Or actually, no, because she did stay in the area. We're just going to knock her down and get some eruption value. So that should hopefully be that 18% that I need. We got 3 hits to damage generators. So, and then we can probably put them in the basement as well. Alternatively, what I could have done was actually take them to the top and hook them. If there was a hook up there, we could take them to the top so we can defend the gen and the hook at the same time instead of having to run all the way up the stairs afterwards. Which is, of course, the Yui's still just greeting that gen for their whole life, so we're just going to go ahead and kick it again. I should have waited for Eruption to charge, and of course they're camping the pallet again. As I've said, we're dealing with a very weak survivor, as I've said. And we need to get them out the game as soon as possible. These type of teammates are the worst kind to have. They're the most, some of the shittiest, teammates to have. They're going to waste every single resource. We knock them down, of course. The other one is still on the hook, and they were just focusing on the generator. We've got to tell them no. And then we could just go ahead and hook them on the hook near us. But this type of teammate is definitely the worst kind to have. They're wasting a lot of resources. They're not really wasting a lot of time. And by the time it's like mid to end game, you don't have any pallets to work with, and you're just giving the killer plenty to work with. Now Vittorio here, we know that he's on his he's on his first hook, so we're gonna damage him. I wouldn't recommend running around and hitting and running too often with Wraith personally, because if you'd sort of have to use it as a strategy. A lot of Wraith players that I've gone up against tend to just kind of like to run away. He made a mistake there, but I just didn't get the hit, which is unfortunate. So he makes that window, but it doesn't really lead anywhere. It's a pretty terrible spot. I somehow didn't get the hit there as well. So, but we finally get the hit there. We did damage the gen for 18%, or I think it's 10 actually, if the eruption wasn't applied. Or not even 10, 8 I should say. They get hooked in the middle, so we can still defend this middle gen. As I've said in other videos with RPD, like you have to hold on to the middle generators, because this is the mid map. So you can basically defend both sides without having to do too much here. So I think we did see somebody over there, but I wanted to go check on the other generators because we don't want to lose any. The one at the bottom of the stairs and the top of the stairs are the ones either regressing or not being worked on. They are going for the save pretty much right next to me, so we get the hit on them as well. And then we'll just go right after Vittorio because we still... actually, we don't even have to because there's somebody running over here who's on death hook, which is the Meg here. The other two are injured. They're most likely going to try to heal themselves, but that's fine. They maybe have windows of opportunity because they knew exactly where to go. We're just trying to fake it there so that they can drop the pallet, which we just got rid of another resource very quickly. What they should have done was honestly just wait it out. Of course, you know, we're dealing with clown survivors here, so they're just gonna keep spamming his vault. We're just gonna have to break it because that prop is way too long. It is what it is. I decided to break chase. We need to go ahead and check on our gens again. Because you got to remember, survivors are very delusional. They're going to think they're actually, like, quote-unquote juicing you as the killer. But you have to realize that a lot of the time it's just the map, you know, giving them that advantage in some way. So we do hear them healing there. We knock them down. We get 2 hits on the generators. And then we can go after the Meg here, who's also injured. They never got healed. And then the other one is on death hook. So once we do get them down, it'll be an instant kill for them as well. So we just got 2 more hits on gens. So that's good for us. We can hook them right next to this generator that's being worked on. It's been kind of in this limbo of regression for quite some time. We're gonna hook them there, and then we could get Vittorio. We're gonna fly over with our cloak, and then we're gonna go hook him as well. There's a hook actually right there next to me, and there's a hook down the hall over there. We have 2 options of where to hook, and then they're just gonna instantly go for the save. Of course, they're not on gens, which is good for me. Hook them right there, and then this will be their second hook, but I forgot that hook was broken. But that's fine. We just hook them right here. They're probably healing. But he's on death hook, so Vittorio's dead, and then the other Meg at the top. Yeah, the gen literally has gone down to maybe 5%. So we wouldn't like this build. I guess this build could have some value. I guess it does offer some pretty solid regression, I guess. We're just going to go ahead and break that pallet. But if you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you for making it this far. You know, make sure you do the YouTube things like leaving comments, likes, and subscribing and that kind of stuff so you see more content like this. If you want to see other horror-related content or just other kinds of content in general that isn't Dead by Daylight, you can leave a suggestion in the video comments. And if you want to see any specific killer, you can also put that down there as well. So we're just kind of patrolling around the map because we don't really know where they are. The survivors tend to do this a lot, where when they're losing, they just start to hide instead of, you know, trying to do the objective or trying to help themselves by, you know, getting into a chase to buy themselves time. So we basically have to play this really long game of hide and go seek, which just wastes everybody's time because I'm like, you already lost the game, but they really just want to hide. I'm like, man, this is not. It's not the school playground, bro. Like we're trying to get this game over with already. So this one was the one hiding. Of course, another pre-drop. Like I've said, like survivors like these are really detrimental to their team because some of these pallets are pretty good. They can most likely waste some time, but because of the fact that they want to sit there and pre-drop like that and then get hit, I just don't understand the point. Like you're just running around in circles, just pre-dropping everything. It's not gonna help you. You know, I don't care what comp, you know, TBD looks like at this point. Like they don't even really play on RPD. They actually play on like Larry's Memorial or something like that. Like they don't really play on some of the regular maps. So, you know, comp dropping every pallet is just gonna get themselves killed and just waste their teammates' resources. I knocked them down again, and that gen is probably the one they're working on. I don't know whether they're flying to a locker, but like I've said in many videos, survivors don't tend to make smart choices and don't tend to do things that are actually logical, so it's understandable. I mean, I've seen my fair share of teammates, honestly. I've been playing a lot of Survivor, and boy, oh boy, the decisions they make are just horrendous. I don't know why they do these things. It doesn't make any sense. So now we see Meg here. She's just injured. She's got nowhere to go, and she's right next to a hook, so we're just going to knock her down. So that secures us our 4K. So this is pretty much the end of the video. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you did make it this far, make sure you do the YouTube things like, you know, liking, subscribing, commenting stuff of like suggestions. If you want to see other non-Dead by Daylight related content, whether horror or otherwise, or if you want a specific killer on this game, you could leave the suggestion into the comments and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to see more, you know, educational kind of commentaries like these, The purposes of this commentary is obviously to review my gameplay, to see where I went right, where I went wrong, and see if we can, the viewer and I, can learn something from, looking over the games and seeing where I can improve. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys. So, we're just going to slap our bell here a couple times and play a little song for our fallen survivors. So, yeah. Have a good one, guys.